Let's go from one great New Jersey fighter to another. Very thankful that Jimmie Rivera is able to squeeze us in. He has a very busy afternoon, so let's get to him right away. Jimmie Rivera, who had a massive win over Urijah Faber on Saturday night, is on the phone. Jimmie, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, man, thank you so much for joining us. So from what I understand, are you at the doctor right now?
Yeah, I'm at the eye doctor right now, kind of waiting on to be seen.
Okay, so and again, thank you so much. And if you have to go, we appreciate your time and understand and I really appreciate you just coming on after everything you've been through. How are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? How's the eye?
The eyes don't really bother me right now. I have still very blurred vision and like a line and like a dot on my eye right now that I can't really see well. So I'm wearing a little patch. So I don't really expect it with some light or any strain on it, so it could try to heal until I see the doctor.
And you weren't able to fly home? Did you have to drive home?
We didn't want to take the precaution of flying, so we ended up driving home. I was going to drive home anyway with my family, and if it wasn't going to be a loss, I told my family and my friends already it's going to be a long drive home because I'm going to be stopping everywhere I want to eat.
How long did it take to drive home from Cleveland?
It's not bad. It took about like 6-7 hours. It wasn't too bad of a drive. We had to drop a couple of people off on the way, so it took a little longer than that. But it was a good drive home.
So what do you think the injury is? I know you spoke to our own Mark Ramundi, and it sounded pretty serious. What do you know about the state of the injury?
Right now, there's a scratch that could use stitches on the white part of my eye, and then they said my retina is not detached, but there's a really bad crack or bruise behind the retina. So, like, a lot of it didn't make sense. I saw, like, a residency optometrist, I think it was, I believe. So, I was like, I'm going to just see a specialist. So I'm here waiting for the specialist now to really see and get the answers and let them take x-rays to see really what's going on because, it wasn't as clear when I was in the ER.
And this happened in the third, right?
Yeah, it happened right in the third, about 2 minutes in the third round. When
you were poked initially, did you think you'd have to stop? Like, was it that bad?
It was black. Like once I got poked until about 10, until after I got out with Rogan, speaking to Rogan, I started getting a little vision back, like half of it. Like from half down, I could see very, very blurry, and half up was black. And the whole last 3 rounds, it was black. Like I was nervous. Like I knew it was up ahead in the cars. I kept asking the ref how much time was left.
Wow.
I'm like trying to go with decisions in my head. I'm like, well, if I say no, like if I don't want to continue, it's going to be no contest. I actually spoke to the doctor who was ringside afterwards in the back. I'm like, was I close on the numbers guessing? She was like, was I right in the numbers? She was like, you were pretty close because she was putting up her fingers. I think she put like 3 up, and I think I guessed 3, but then she put 2 up. I said 1.
Wow.
I was just guessing. I was just like, you know what? I'm close. This is, a lifetime opportunity. I was like, I said, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to finish the fight. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep it going. And, if I get banged up more because I got one eye, whatever, it's something I got to do.
If that would have happened in the first round, do you think you would have been able to continue?
I think I would have continued even if it happened in the first. I waged as I was there. I mean, I was waging my options in my head of what to do, and I was just like, I can't say no. I can't. I'm like, I'm not one to give up. You know what I mean? And the eye poke happened, whether it was intentional or not. It happened, and it's just something I had to fight through at the time.
Do you think it was intentional?
I don't know. I think it was a little bit. I feel like because he hit me in the nuts. Hit me again, but I kind of grazed. It wasn't that bad. He didn't really say sorry afterwards or pound. Like if you hit someone in the balls or I told him my accent, I just started my bad, gives you a pound or something like that. He didn't really say anything, so I don't know what if it was or wasn't. It was a little suspect. I don't really care. At this point, I got the W. I got the win over someone that I grew up watching. You know what I mean? I grew up watching him as a teenager, a kid, and it's unbelievable fighting. And I was telling myself, I'm going to get in there. I'm not going to have, that little starstruckness. I'm going to go in there and do my thing. But in the first round, I felt that little starstruck. I was like, wow. I'm fighting Urijah Faber right now. This is crazy. This is fun. And then I was really enjoying myself because, like, I know I should have done better. And that third round, I really wanted to pour it on, but with my eye, not trying to make an excuse, but with my eye, it was really freaking hard I couldn't believe how right eye dominant I am when I'm using stuff. So I was like, wow, this is hard to fight with the left eye to hit the right eye and throwing stuff. Like, I was throwing stuff, and I was like, I think it's hidden.
Oh, my God.
That one hit. That one didn't hit. I'm like,
wow.
So, but I'm not gonna lie, in that first round, I was just like, wow, I'm fighting him right now. I was a little, I didn't want that to happen. My coach was like, don't let that happen, don't let him get like a little search, but I did, and it's my fault. But I was like, at the time, like, wow, he's throwing stuff, he's not hitting it. I'm moving. I'm like, this guy's ring number 2 in my head, going in my head doesn't fight him. He's ring number 2, and I'm dodging everything. He can't even take me down. Like, this is freaking awesome. Like, I can't believe where I'm at as a fighter. How far I came.
I love this idea that you were having this, internal monologue throughout the first round. You're fighting this living legend. So considering how you felt about him at the time and what you sort of implied about the low blow and the eye poke, have your thoughts on Faber changed after fighting him?
Yeah, I think if we were to fight again, it would be a way different fight. It would be like me not like just going forward and not stop throwing. Like I had an answer for every single thing. I watched the fight, and I'm like, my uncle said I did enough that you needed to get the win, but I personally think I could have done more. I'm always a perfectionist, so like. The next day I was watching the fight, I was looking over, I'm like, what do I need to fix with it? Like, I'm never happy. Even sometimes you get a submission or you get a knockout, there's always things you want to fix and make yourself better. Obviously, I was happy with the win, but I know my performance could have been better. So I want to fix that and move up. And I'm looking forward to the next opponent. Once I get this eye situation done and hopefully everything works out well, I'm getting right back into training camp. It's the only thing stopping me right now is the eye. It's my sight. I was scared as hell because you go in 3 minutes, I'm fighting the last 3 minutes, and I'm like, I can't see out of my right eye.
Wow.
Black. There's no sight. Like, I didn't even know my eye was open. Like, when I was with the eye doctor, she said, no, your eye was open. I'm like, it's open right now because I don't see anything. I thought it was closed shut.
That was your 21st pro fight. Have you ever experienced anything close to that before?
With an eye poke like that? No. I've never got that. Got hit in the balls once or twice. That happens, you know what I mean? But the eye poking, I was serious. I was like, after the fight, I was scared. He's like, you'll be fine, my coach. But I'm like, I'm scared, man. I don't want to lose my vision.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that I don't know if you saw this when you were rewatching it, but you kind of had to tell the ref, right? It's like almost like you had to call time because he didn't notice it at first. Did you pick that? Did you pick up on that?
I didn't pick up on it as much. So focused on what I was doing in a way, but I remember like the fact that watching and calling time because I saw what happened in the Francisco Rivera fight, and like when he hit me with that poke, I was like, holy shit, that was it. And I jumped back and I was like, ref, I pull. And I was surprised that he didn't see it because the way he was throwing that left hand, his fingers were open. It was like a slap. It wasn't a hook punch. You know what I mean? Even if it was a hook punch, usually you have your hand closed, so it was a slap. And he did it like once or twice in previous rounds, and I'm like, that's why I'm suspect of that whole eye poke and the kick to the balls, and that happened. I jumped back because I remember what happened with Francisco Rivera. Got eye poked right away, and it was kind of hard to see Francisco Cruz exchange. He threw like a slap cross punch, and it was like, I caught it, and that's when I was like to the ref right away.
Yeah, and that referee, by the way, was Gary Copeland, who I don't think had a particularly great night. He also reffed the Fabricio Verdum-Travis Brown fight, which was all kinds of wackiness. You probably weren't watching because you were dealing with your eye. What's going through your mind, and I don't even know if you can hear them, when they're booing you? They're booing both of you, and you guys are fighting your ass off. You're fighting. I don't think it was a bad fight at all. I mean, it's just two really great fighters meeting in the center of the cage, and at that point, later on, you're dealing with your eye, and you're hearing boos. What are you thinking at this point, if anything?
I'm just focusing on what I have to do and listening to my coaches. I hear the boos, but it's not something that I want to dwell on. They want to see people like go to war sometimes, and sometimes you just don't get that. Like if you're a fighter, you don't get that. It's just so technical sometimes, and that's what happens. Some fights are very technical. Some fights, the guys just coming in brawling, and you're gonna, it's like Pedro Munoz when I fought. He came in brawling, and I wasn't gonna back off from that. You know what I mean? And there were some times I went in to try to, tag your eye, hit my combinations, and he would jump back. So it was kind of like cat and mouse in a way a little bit, you know what I mean? So so I had some difficult times hitting him too coming in because, he uses movement and his hopping back and his unique movement to, get out of range so he wouldn't get hit. So it happens. You know what I mean? And you can't win them all the time, the pass, you know?
That was Faber's 43rd pro fight. He's 37. Never in his career has he lost 2 in a row up until now. Are you of the opinion that he is officially slowing down? I know his last fight was against Dominic Cruz, but what do you make from a guy who clearly has watched him for a long time, who respects him as a fighter? Now that you've been in there with him, do you think that he is starting, to go down as far as his skills are concerned?
You know what? I don't think so. You know what I mean? He said one time in an interview, and I watched all his interviews, and he was like, Jimmie Rivera himself said something about me evolving. I don't understand that. I'm 2 in the world. When I said evolving, I meant evolving as a fighter, getting better as a fighter. You know what I mean? If you ever watch Urijah Faber, he's been the same person from his very first fight to his last fight with me, was what he throws and what he does. He does the same stuff all the time. Where you see other people like TJ Dillashaw, who has done little stuff and gotten better. You know what I mean? And has perfected his striking. Or like Dominic Cruz, who's, a smart fighter. He does things to set you up so you throw stuff. Very, very smart fighter. You know what I mean? Like, so when I said evolve, and I meant evolve, like, Uriah's always had the same, offense. It's always been the same offense. Right hand, he'll go for the single leg, the double leg, great elbows. Then the same offense. So when you know that offense and you practice that for 2-3 months in, you're ready for it. You know what I mean? So, with that said, I was ready for everything he had to throw at me, and I was very surprised in the first round that he wasn't going to wrestle me more. I heard an interview said that he couldn't get in on takedowns, or just, it was too hard, and I was super surprised. You know what I mean? I thought he was going to bum rush some takedowns on me.
Yeah, that definitely seemed to ruffle his feathers a little bit. He mentioned that in the scrum on Wednesday. And speaking of that, I mean, you were in a very important fight on the main card, and yet you weren't at the media day. You weren't at the press conference. He was at the open workouts. Did you feel like, okay, here's this big opportunity, by far the biggest name you've ever fought. You've now won, I think, 19 in a row. It was 18 going into it, but yet you weren't getting that attention that a fight like this usually gets? Like, what did you feel about the way you were being pushed going into this fight?
I think I'm still underrated. I think people are like, oh yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? And I feel like that all the time. And you know what? It's cool. I love to be underrated. Like this kid coming in who was ranked 12 just beat the number 2 seed. You know what I mean? I might be underrated to people, but I know at least to the fighters, to the people that are ranked in the bantamweight division, they know I'm here and they know I want to be the champ, and it's fine by me. I mean, he got an open workout, he got a media day. We were joking, like we had to wait at a restaurant for an hour. I was like, oh, it's Urijah Faber. I wouldn't have to wait. I had like 5-minute wait. I would sit down, but we waited for an hour. So I was like, it's all good. We joke about it. I don't let it get to me at all. It doesn't bother me. I just want to keep moving forward, and I want to get that title shot. Are
you confident now that the UFC is going to get behind you and push you a little bit?
I don't. To be honest, I don't. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. It's all up to them. I just want to keep moving forward. As long as they keep letting me move forward, I have no problem.
So who makes sense for you next? Do you have any idea? Hopefully you get through this and you can come back in a good amount of time. Do you have any idea what makes sense for you as far as your next opponent is concerned?
I wouldn't be surprised if TJ Dillashaw.
Oh.
I heard Cody and Cruz are going to end up fighting soon. I heard they're probably going to be in the works in December.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Cruz, and which you didn't have to be a brain surgeon to realize. Cruz has been talking a lot of smack. Cody's on a big hype. You know what I mean? Cruz wants to fight that and wants to get some, bigger bucks, and they've been talking smack back and forth that they want to fight. They're looking forward to it. I think it's going to happen soon. You know what I mean? So it's kind of obvious besides of what I've heard from other people and fighters, but they're looking worse. So it's looking like I think it's going to be probably TJ Dillashaw next, unless Brian Kerr now wants to fight me because I beat Uriah and thinks he could beat me or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? There's been a couple guys ducking me, and I can't say. I can't do anything about it. It's crazy. I thought getting in the UFC, no one ducked me. They have to take the fight. Nah, it's not like that at all.
Wow.
So I had my fair share. They offered me one time Thomas I made it. I said yeah, I'll take it. I just don't want to fight in Brazil. I've been in Brazil once. I fought a Brazilian, and I had my one experience. It was good. We'll fight anywhere. That kind of fell through. They offered me Sterling Byron Caraway again. That fell through. Mazuzaki was supposed to fight him, but he said no to me. He said yes to Cody. So, that fell through. Then they offered Caraway again. Caraway said no. And then I had the option of these 4, and out of the 4, the top was Faber. I was like, of course, I want to fight Urijah Faber. I'm like, that's a great fight. And that's how that fight came about.
Wow.
And I knew Carol was going to say no. I knew. And so Sean Shelby already knew. You know, but he wanted me. He wanted to see what was going to happen, and just in case. And he said, if he doesn't want to take it again, there's just 4 other guys who would you rather fight. And I think when I said Faber right away, he was a little taken back, and I was like, it's the most sense. It makes the most sense. You know what I mean? I don't think Sterling's going to take it. He was another option. Dotson, yeah, he's at 10, but I'm like, I want to move up. You know what I mean? I want to get to the top. Dotson's good, but Faber's a legend. Faber's great. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I want to fight Faber.
It's still crazy to me, and the rankings haven't updated, but that you were 12th going into this is just mind-blowing considering your winning streak and how impressive it is. So is it fair to assume that if you had it your way, Dillashaw would be your top choice?
Yeah, I guess, you know what I mean, that would be my top choice because, you got Cody and Cruz, and I think, Dillashaw really wants a rematch, but Cruz doesn't want it, and then, the UFC's not giving him right away. And I figured, if I fight Dillashaw, that basically puts us as a number 1 contender. So whoever gets that win off of Cruz and Cody, basically, if I beat Dillashaw, then that gives me the opportunity to be able to be the number 1 contender and be able to fight him. You know what I mean?
Who do you like in that fight, by the way, Cody or Cruz?
You know what? I think Cody, if he connects that right hand of his, but Cruz is he's a very, very smart fighter with everything he does. I've seen him, I watch him so much. He's in my weight class, so it's very important for me. I study him, and he does stuff to bait you. He does all these things, and I feel like a lot of people haven't fought him the correct way. And there's a certain way you have to fight him, and a lot of guys haven't done that yet. Dillashaw did a little bit of it, but I think I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go with Cruz on that fight. Nothing against Cody, but Cody's a cool, nice guy. Yeah, got to meet him. He said congratulations to me, appreciate it. But I think it would be Cruz on that fight. Unless Cody decides, have a completely different game plan what Urijah did, then I think Cody will win. But right now I have to stick with Cruz.
Okay, so to wrap this up, and again, thank you so much for squeezing us in. What is your gut? Do you have any idea what the doctor? Do you have a sense what he will say? And if you do have to have surgery, how serious is that as far as long-term vision is concerned?
I don't know if it's that if I had surgery. I heard if it's a retina or something like that, it might be a month or 2 months. I don't know. I don't know how bad. I'm hoping it's not that bad. I'm hoping he's saying just keep resting and use the antibiotic. Maybe need a stitch here because I had a cut in the eye itself in the white part. But I'm not sure. I'm staying positive. I'm hoping it's not going to be bad. Another week was to patch, keep putting drops, and you'll be okay. As the days gone by, the sight has gotten better, but not great. You know what I mean? So It's still a little blur. So, a lot bit blur, but I'm hoping that, with time it'll be better.
Has the UFC been cool? Have they been helping you?
Yeah, they were great. I went to the ER. They said, whatever doctor you want to go to, just let them know, give them the information. We'll take care of it. And I said, awesome. I appreciate that. And they've been great. You know what I mean? I can never say anything bad about them. They're great. You know what I mean? They're there for you if you do get hurt and stuff like that. So they've been really great through this process.
Okay. Well, I wish you the best, man. And please keep us updated, whether it's social media or any other way. I hope everything goes well with the doctor over there in Jersey and that you can avoid surgery and get back soon. And again, congratulations on a huge win. What a performance that was. And especially when you consider that, the third round, most of it was without an eye. Even more impressive. So kudos to you, my man. Great stuff, and looking forward to you continuing the streak.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. And once I know what happens, I'll shoot you a text and I'll let you know.
Oh, you're the man. Thank you, Jimmie. All the best.
You too. Bye.
All right, there he is, Jimmie Rivera. Massive win for him on Saturday night. Improves his record to 20-1. 20-1, Jimmie Rivera is. Last time he lost a fight, November of 2008. His second pro fight. Split decision. That's amazing. Has wins now over Marcus Brimage, Pedro Munoz, Yuri Alcantara, and now Urijah Faber at UFC 203. Wish him the best. Hope that his eye injury isn't all that serious.